Yo, what is up YouTube? Cruiser here, back with another video. This time, as requested, we're playing lower stakes to show you guys how I would deviate in weaker fields. So the main goal for this video would be to up the aggression in a lot of the spots, basically attacking more timing tells, attacking more weak ranges. Generally, the lower the stakes are, the more free information villains will give us. So the best way to beat this pool would be to aggro a lot. So let's see what spots we can get today. Starting with a small C bet here after we squeezed. Gonna check back this one. Look to bluff turns probably. Don't really have anything going with my hand here. Here we're gonna go half pot and then jam the turn. I expect an overfold here by his like 10s, 9s, 8s, so don't want to go too big. Now once he checks twice, I'm just gonna start attacking. Jams, we call. He jumps pocket 7s. Easy stack, hopefully. Nice, good start. Maybe he attacked my half pot sizing. Maybe he knows who I am. But because that guy was Austrian, I don't think recreationals are generally have Austrian flags. So pretty weird turn jam by him. Going to be raising here. Folding here. This guy plays 200, so I have no clue why is he also in 50 NL. But yeah. Opening ace king. 2014, we're gonna be, yeah. Don't really want to expand that wide against TTG, but more from a cutoff and button. I'm gonna start with a B40 on this board. Probably betting my hand always. Do have a short stacker here. He's pretty tight, so we're just gonna be opening. Any two probably, and we have a 400 hands small blind. Yeah, this I think this could be a spot to open any two. Holding queen deuce. Okay, so we see a pretty fast call. Gonna start with the range check here. Snap check. Gonna delay my bluff to the river, I think, when I don't have anything going with it. Once he snap checks the flop as well, like, you're gonna have like king highs, ace highs and stuff. Now, like, most of his range that I expect him on the flop, ace highs, king highs will get there, but I'm still gonna use block. Or maybe he has like low pocket pair that he won't defend or something, so... Actually, I'm gonna use half pot. Half pot is somewhere between 40 and half pot. I think that's fine. Okay. So his snap check on check back on the flop wasn't ace high king highs, it was just there. Good to note. I would note that if I would play these games. Starting with a small C bet here, we don't need to go too big. The guy is short stacker. Folding here, no need to deviate against TTG. Okay, this guy has really big ATS, so I would be 3-betting this hand, but Not anymore. Three betting this one. Three betting here. Really small four bet, but I don't think we can continue our hand, especially against like earlier positions. It's too dominated. If I had something like pocket eights, pocket nines, jack 10 suited, you know, hands that are always mixes, in theory, I would call those hands always because of the price. Offsuit hands you generally don't want to call. Like the only offsuit hand I would call against that size is ace queen o, and even that's kind of borderline. He said, oh, do we want to open this? No, because we have a fish on the button, so he's going to play a lot of pots in position, so our offsuit ace won't do so well against that. Here we see super tank open, but this would be too wide to 3-bet. Oh, we have our friend here, value the spot. I haven't seen you in 200 in ages. I guess you went down a bit, or maybe you're trying some new strategies, or I don't know. Testing out some new stuff, I meant. Yeah, opening there. Okay, we're gonna flat this one, good price, playable hand. 3x open from a really tight guy, 35 BBs. This one's pretty close. I'm gonna peel, maybe he like gives me information on the flop. I have to peel again, because most of the fishes use half pot, like one and done a lot, so maybe he gives up the turn. He was pretty tight, so maybe I could have bluffed I mean, maybe I could have folded the flop, but now we're here. We're just gonna use small size, start targeting his ace highs. 7-4. We could raise this maybe. I don't know. No, it's three-way. Here, so basically, we're hoping he folds the jack if we jam. Needs to be good. 40%, 90%. I don't think I'm gonna give up. I think I'm gonna give up this one, I meant. 8-7. I didn't want to bluff on a spade completer exactly because he's a short stacker. I think he will overcall Jack X. And I already folded his range that I wanted to fold on the turn. So ace high, king queen, and stuff like that. This one a bit deep. Still gonna go for a bet. Pretty fast call from a 39. 39 to 189. Okay. 3-betting here. We're just gonna be folding against the lead. From a 39 guy, yeah. Not gonna do anything there. Starting with a small c-bet here. Okay, checking the turn. Could potentially value bet this, like let's see, 7s, 8s, jacks, 10s. I could do some exploitative size against this guy, like half pot or something, make him call me wider. Now once he blocks, is it too thin to raise? King 9-9. I don't think it's too thin to raise. He's not gonna be protected enough for this size. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to have a strong hand, but yeah, I'll give him really good price to call his 8s and 10s. I'm gonna be 3-betting this one. These sizes are really good. The second time we get a really good size. I think I'm gonna peel in position this time. Cut off versus button. This time as well. Before it was hijack versus cutoff, so a little different. Now he just checks. Probably gonna start with a bet. Really weird that he didn't range c-bet this flop. Gonna start with overbet on this board. Sure, why not? Yeah. So these are the spots that you want to attack. These are the spots I wanted to that I mentioned from the start of the video. When people check a board that's usually a range bet, means they have like ace queen, means they have pocket jacks. Just want to attack that triple stab, you know. That hand versus the recreational blind versus blind was different because he was short stacker. I didn't expect too much fold equity by Jack X region on the river, so I didn't go for my bluffs. That's why I only went for a turn bluff, which I already explained. But this spot is different. Okay, we see a check here. Usually people range bet these boards, even though you're not supposed to. But so that means he either like has an ace high or some pocket pair. Just gonna start with a small size. Okay, followed pretty fast. I don't think I ever want to check because I don't think he will reopen air on the turn. If he had air, he would most likely bet the flop, unless he's playing like proper strategy. And this one we're gonna be 3-betting. 29, 25, 27, decent stats. Just calling here. Mostly check give up. This specific hand on this board would be betting if I had higher overcards. Starting with a small, probing the turn here. Guys most likely, okay, we see a king, we see a guy checked on the, I'm gonna start with a small exploitative size. I think if I had ace king, I would go bigger here. But yeah, the 7-5 hand, the guy's usually is probably likely to range c bet, and then when he checks the turn, means he has like king highs or something like that. That's gonna be giving up. So we want to deny equity against that. Super exploitable, but against possible weaker population, we could do that. Here 2016 9k hands. So against that, we don't want to be over 3-betting. Because he's naturally like, you could think that people would under 4-bet you in these stakes, but if he has tight stats, that means naturally he will over 4-bet you. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how it works. Because he's opening tighter range, and if he's cutoff versus button, everyone's gonna 4-bet ace king o, even the biggest nit. So he's 3-betting, he's gonna 4-bet, so that's ace king o plus queens, that's like 2.5% of the range. And if he's opening like 25%, that's already 10% he's 4-betting. And now we add in some bluffs. You know, it could be 15%, it could be 20%. So we're getting close to the equilibrium 4-bet strategy. So against the equilibrium 4-bet percentage, we don't want to 3-bet wider. Sounds a bit confusing. I almost confused myself as well, but I think that's how it goes. Jack 6, 2019, decent big blind, don't want to expand. Here we have two short stackers, definitely opening. Wider on the cutoff in this spot. $21, 13. Going to be 3-betting against him. Squeezing now. You could exploitatively squeeze wide, bigger size versus like, if you know the guy is like a decent reg on the UTG. This is pretty weird. I'm gonna call this, but Like he can have queens, he can have like GTO jamming strategy is kings and ace king O here, but I think I'm gonna call ace king suited. Yeah, you're gonna get shown ace king off a lot in this spot, especially how fast he 4-bet. Really big size. What are you doing against this 4-bet, I guess? 4-bet fold. He doesn't have that high 3-bet, so, but the size is really big, so I don't really want to have a calling range in this spot versus this huge size. Yeah, so I'm gonna be folding 4-bet fold, like I said. I think that's the best play there. Or fold up straight, but I don't think ace queen O is that weak to fold up straight against 10 BB. Opening here. $18.15. Yeah, we can open this. Start with a check here. Guy looks like a reg by his stats, so that means he's not going to be randomly overprobing turns. So we get to see, we get more information, and we get to realize more equity. Gonna be attacking this spot now with a delay, and then bluffing on ace, jack, something like that. Ace, jack, reverse, maybe some spade reverse. Okay. No point in slow playing here unless you know the guy is like has really good ranges and that he's gonna 4-bet decent frequency. So every time when you jam, the EV of a jam is gonna be way higher if the guy like slightly under 4-bets. So you never want to slow play this. I say that and he had a 4-bet bluff, but I think it's the best strat overall. Maybe exactly against button you could play close to GTO frequency with just calls pre-flop, but I still think it's better to jam. Especially in Rush and cash, because a lot of us, like versus button versus cutoff, they have to flat queen. Sometimes they have to flat ace king go. They have to flat jacks, you know. And most people 4-bet those from those positions. So even you're gonna face the value even more. Value part of the range even more than theory. Check. Interesting bot to check on. I think we can already start value betting. Gonna use some small size exploitatively, even though this board is for a bigger size. Nice. So he can have queen jack, he can have jack 9, stuff like that. Gonna be using a smaller size. Again, exploitatively. If I had jack 10, if I had some unblocker took his weak king x region, I would go for a overbet. But here I want to get called by queen x and stuff like that. Like ace jack off, I want to get called by that. Decent bluff catcher, ace jack o, like he's ahead of the bluffs and he can potentially cooler me on 10 rivers. Jack 6, interesting. I'm gonna be folding. Might raise something like king 6 versus cutoff. Although people are probably range c betting, but I don't think we want to expand that wide. Recreational, possible short stacker. Let's start with the check. On ace high boards, I like to play check a lot to see, for them to tell me what they have. Check pretty fast. Now, what's the higher EV? Like letting him bluff the river? Or betting myself and denying if he has some like a pocket pair with a spade and something like that. think betting myself is better now. Fast check. We're gonna go for overbet here. We only lose to sixes, I think. So, yeah, let's go for it. Okay, interesting. He slow played. Nice answer. He called pretty fast. Like check turns pretty fast, call turn pretty fast. Like that's almost never gonna be a jack. Folding here. And we also don't rep much. So if he's thinking, we might even get an overcall. Like he's gonna call any ace probably. So and then some pairs maybe. Because if he had a jack or a flush draw, he would have bet the flop. So he might call us wider because of that reason. That's why I went for the bigger size. Okay, raising here always with a flush draw. Let's see his stats, 21-18, yeah, seems good. We have backdoor straight draw as well with our flush draw. If I had something like queen deuce, queen 3, queen 4, even king deuce, king 3 would be better check calls. We don't have backdoor straight draws. And like we can call more turns. We can get like top pairs on the turns and stuff. Okay, against a possible reg. Gonna check this one. High board, regs shouldn't stab that often. So we're gonna get to the turn node way more often than we would if the board was lower. So you could check more. Here, gonna be calling. I don't like this. I don't like the spot because if he had a bluff, potentially would bluff the flop. Queen ten, king queen jack x. Yeah, he could check a weak jack x. Yeah, for the price, I think we need to call. But yeah, I don't love it. Nine seven. Okay, interesting that he was thinking of value betting this. Could be a good exploitative value bet because like most of my range is like 10x there. So I'm surprised the guy was thinking about it. Usually like on 200 people snap check back there. Okay, ace king export. Probably playing over better check. We're against reg, I guess. 7-6, we have two recreationals, possible recreations here, so I'm gonna open. Checking the turn, delaying weak ace, pocket deuces, and stuff like that. Going to be calling here. 7-6 deep plays pretty well. Pretty fast bet. We could raise this, we could call. The way he bets so fast, I lean towards call. And it's like Caro versus hijack, so might have a naturally tighter range. And folding here, I block some of the bluffs. People won't bluff pairing reverse. This is always an ace. Okay, he checked the 8 on the turn. So he might have ace king or what am I just blocking here, to be honest? Trying to make ace king or ace jack fold. Ace 10, okay. So the read for 3-betting pre-flop wasn't good based on his stats, but yeah, sometimes those stats can be misleading against these Asian players. Like I think they overvalue ace high hands. Ace X hands, I meant. Because that hand is never a pre-flop 3-bet from those positions, and you saw his stats. Stats doesn't indicate that he has that types of hands in his range. But yeah, once he checks the turn there, mostly give up ace kings, ace jacks, king queens, ace queens. And we don't need to be good often on the river to fall out ace king, so I think block is good. He probably has to bluff catch ace king some of the time as well. Here against BB 3-bet, nothing to do, then fold, I believe. Okay. Indifferent hand to open. We're gonna open it here. Ace-X boards, you know the drill, delaying everything. Of course, really tight big blinds. But most of the other table seems reggy, so don't want to open that. Here, just gonna be folding. Again, if I would be playing these games, I would note that he's using 75 on the turn here. This is a clear huge overbet or check spot. So with that note, I might start playing flop differently. You know, if I expect people to bet more often, let's say he has ace 9, like a weak ace 9, ace 8, ace 10 in those spots. Against that, I want to bet more often on the flop, I believe, because then he's going to be betting the turn more, and I'm gonna realize less of my equity. I mean, he would continue flop with those hands anyways, so it will probably end up being the same. Ace 5, not continuing versus 2.5. Okay, you see a tank open, 51% ATS, so definitely 3-betting this one. Starting with a c-bet. He has to be raising some low pocket pairs. Opening this one. Okay. This one probably gonna go bet check bet. I do block some 10s and 8s with a heart that might call the turn, but it's 10 check. Actually, I'm gonna go for it. I think he's gonna have way more pocket pairs, even without a heart on the flop, and not raise them. That's why I went for the bet on the turn. Okay, pretty fast. Check on the turn, gonna delay aggressively. Value betting my 5. Interesting. Snap check. And then raise. So he might have pocket 7s, pocket 8s here. But I'm gonna call for 1. Okay, we see a reg here. Would be interesting if he bombs it here. I think I'm gonna call this spot. Like 7s and 8s aren't value betting anymore. But what are his bluffs? Maybe he rivered a queen here. I block 5s, which is the most obvious hand that will play like this. 10s, ace 10, suited. All right, 7-6. People are more trappy on 50 NL than 200. What's up with that? And milky on the river. He should always overbet his hand, make target my range that's overpairs and 10x. So he lost value there. Against my overall range, though. Against my hand, he got max value, so well played. Checking here. So we're live for like 30 minutes. Let's go for like 5 more minutes, then we can wrap it up a bit. Okay, gonna delay here. Something like 40% is good. Don't want to go too big because big blind might be, in theory, he might be uncapped because I'm gonna reopen a lot on a king, so he should check a lot of his 4x, but people will mostly see like double flush draw board. I have to bet my hand for protection, they will bet it. So in theory, you can delay for B75 easily there, I think. Okay, range check, trips board, easiest to play. He's gonna have 9-7 off. He's gonna have 9-8 off. We won't open sometimes that. Against a bigger size, we do less raising overall. Our jacks does need protection, but I think it's gonna call without a spade. See what he does on the turn. Raising here. I think I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check this. He should reopen an 8 a lot. He should reopen an 8 a lot. So I think he's mostly gonna be like kind of bluff heavy once he uses a big size. Yeah, as you see, random stuff. He's gonna be bluff heavy once he uses a big size on the flop and then checks the turn. That's why I didn't want to block. I think in theory you want to bet there because some of his range improves on a 7, like 7-6, but the way how he used the bigger size and then check the turn made me think he's air heavy, so that's why I didn't want to bet. People are doing really big 3-bet sizings here as well. That's weird. Basically, every time people go more than 3x, you just play 4-bet or fold. You don't want to like, you don't want to reward their strategy, especially if they have tight ranges like that example, UTG versus cutoff. So just 4-bet blocker hands, ace queen, ace king, ace 5 sometimes, and then fold the other. Queen 6 to this is actually a fold in equilibrium, but I'm gonna call. Suited hand can't be too bad. Probably losing slight like 0.01 BB, 0.02, something like that. Just gonna be folding here. We do have a backdoor, but it's too wide to peel. Range check here. I'll be raising my hand. For both for value and both for denial. With Queen of Diamonds, I think it's a good play. Like most people would just check call here, but even in theory, I think this is a play. And even more in practice, I would believe, because most people would, if they have value there, they would let's open this against this recreational. If they had value in that spot, they would probably size up because they want to charge my ace highs, right? They won't use a smaller size. So that even makes me think even more that he's air heavy. And we're just denying equity against that range with raising ace queen there. Folding here. Folding here. Nice. Oh, what's the best way to play this? This guy has 0 hands played. So I think I'm going to go for a smaller 3-bet. 4-bet, sorry. Ace king. Let's not rise once. Here, I'm going to start with a bigger bet. There's a lot of gut shots. Nice. Okay, let's sit out next big blind. We won like stack and a bit. 2 times we had kings, we won 2 pots. That's nice. Global sit out. Okay, let's finish the video and wrap it up. Here 86, 17, 11. Not gonna be opening there. This guy's 64 with VIP. He seems like passive, like we're calling. I think the best play against this player is to check because he's gonna be really wide, and then check call against, or even check raise. Check raise half pot. Let's check call and jam on the river here. Basically, we're targeting 2-pair region. Once he goes B50 on the turn and sizes up on the river, means he's usually going to be stronger. So we don't want to raise small and get value from king 9 or ace jack, whatever. We want to raise big and get value from 2-pair. That's how we maximize this spot. Wow, we had same hand. Anticlimactic ending. But yeah, that's it. Wait, we didn't end the left table here. But yeah, that spot on the left was we just want to maximize every time he has 2-pair, every time he has sets, right? If we jam, in theory, all his sets, all his 2-pairs are indifferent. In practice, no one's gonna fold that. Not even strong regs, right? Maybe like the top regs would, but people usually value their 2-pairs, like you already know. What I like to say in all of my videos, this is like the basic of value betting. Every time when the guy has like cooler hand, you want to maximize against that, and that's pretty much it. All right, this was it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe, and yeah, if you like more this type of video contents in the future, if you would like more of it, let me know in the comments, and yeah, see ya in the next one.